Alright everyone, today I tweeted out this list, ranking the new kits in competitive play from best to worst. And at the top of the list wasn't a T-Tech, it wasn't a Zimmy, or even the Carbon. It was the Custom Junior. This is the kit I think could be the best in the new patch. Now keep in mind, this is before the patch actually drops. So once we get the balance changes, this list will change. This list is if a balance patch never happens. Like, these kits are just thrown into the current meta. So, that'll change it when it does. I'll make a video on it on the main channel. I'll do a brief analysis of all these kits for those who don't watch the second channel, condense it a bit, and make a ranking. So, that's something to look forward to. But, why this? Why is this the big winner? Because on the surface, this seems like a very odd pick for the best weapon being added. Like, really? That Junior? Like, Junior's not that good at main weapon. And it has, like, Torp Wave? Is that really that strong? Yes. Yes, it is. Let's talk about why. So, briefly, let's talk about Junior as a main weapon. Now, Junior can't fight very well. It's not the worst at it. Its spread isn't as bad as it seems, but it isn't a great fighter. Its paint range is also not great. It doesn't paint too far away from itself. Everything else tends to be good. It's a lightweight weapon with very low startup and end lag, which means it can run Ninja Squid very easily. It's high mobility. It paints very well and very quickly. Its damage per second, if it could get near something, is actually, like, pretty good. Like, you could damage objects pretty good up close. It has the best ink efficiency in the game. It has a 10% larger ink tank, which can help with the main weapon, but more importantly means sub-weapons cost practically nothing. I have no sub or main saver here. You can see just how long I can shoot after a spot bomb. Keep in mind, Torpedo's even cheaper. So that's all the things Junior is. So Junior is actually one of the better main weapons. I want to get that out of the way. It not being able to fight will matter, especially as more kits happen and things start getting in the way of Junior's niches, but right now both Junior and Custom Junior don't have much competition. If you want to see why Zimmy isn't huge competition for Junior and they'll be their own different things, check out my video on it. And C Junior I'll talk about right now. So, main weapon aside, Torpedo is very good right now. Torpedo benefits a lot from the increase in slower weapons in the game, because that's generally the stuff Torpedo is good against. Like, stuff like a Charger will have a harder time dealing with Torp than a Shooter. Stuff like Flingza will have a harder time dealing with it, etc. Even something like Machine doesn't really want to shoot down Torpedo. And the other positive about Torpedo in this game compared to the last one is Ninja Squid is very popular. Ninja Squid is a very good ability, and there are some team comps that will run 2 to 4 Ninja Squid on their weapons. So that's very important. And because of that, having a sub that can not only locate people, but force them to pop up and shoot something or take damage or let you paint a ridiculous quantity is very, very strong. So Torpedo is a great sub right now, way better than people think. That's the first factor in its favor. And combined with Junior, it's pretty good. Like, you obviously have the rolled mode to combo with people if you need reliable damage. Like, if you're up close, just like a splat bomb that I talked about in the T-Tech video, you can roll it at your feet and they kind of have to respect it. In this case, it's not lethal threat, but 35 damage is one less shot to kill and it will paint their feet. And it's like, you can't really miss the rolled hitbox. It's, let me see, it's like over a line, I believe, of range? Yeah. It's pretty ridiculous, so you won't miss it. And if you're able to hit directly, you become a 2-shot, so there's that too. So Torp, very good for combos, very good get off me, very good against Ninja Squid. And being able to be good against Ninja Squid is already starting to sound very strong. So what if we factored into that? We invest into it further and give it Wave Breaker. Now we're talking. Obviously, the special is going to allow Junior to be a 2-shot kill, just like it is with Squelcher, meaning Junior will actually be able to be a good fighter anywhere the Wave Breaker can hit. It'll now be much more threatening. It is another thing that deals with Ninja Squid. And the good part about Wave Breaker is essentially a 5th teammate. That's what it is. Like, it either deals damage and marks people, or the enemy has to have bad movement in order to deal with the Wave Breaker, because they have to be jumping. And so, you essentially get to spam a ton of these, especially if it's 180p, which would make this even better than I already think it is. And this special is going to absolutely ruin enemy players' movement every time you get it. It's going to be really good at keeping people off. It's going to make you able to combo super well. And it'll absolutely demolish Ninja Squid players. This is a hard Ninja Squid counter. Part of me thinks this kit exists due to how popular Ninja Squid has been. Like, that wouldn't surprise me. Because this feels like a hard answer to Ninja Squid comps. Now, I don't think this kit is perfect. I think it is a really good niche. It is great at dealing with Ninja Squid. And I think in general, Wave Breaker is very strong right now. Being able to just have damage that people have to deal with for a long period of time is good. The special is low health, but if people go to shoot it, especially if it's behind cover, it'll often open them to getting picked by one of your 4 players anyway. Like, I think Wave is a mad underrated special. I guess I'll say it now. Especially, again, if stuff like Crab Tank and Missiles gets nerfed, Wave is one of those specials that's just a few places below them. Not that far off. It's still a top tier special. And so it's gonna be one of the strongest, if not the strongest special in the next patch, depending on how harsh the nerfs are. And so I think it's gonna be really scary on that on its own. So that's a bunch of different things in its favor. And against non-Ninja Squid comps, I still think the Wave Breaker output is very good, especially on smaller maps like Inkblot Art Academy, where being able to avoid Wave Breaker is really difficult because there's just not a lot of room to fight for in the relevant locations of the map. Once the push gets started, you have a wave on their plat, it's going to hit pretty much everything. And so places like that, C Junior is going to be very, very strong. Now, this kit isn't perfect, or else, yeah, I would be really worried, but I'm not super worried. It doesn't have a lot of gear dependency. It's great against Ninja Squid. It's a great, like, anti in terms of people trying to shark and play sneaky. It has a lot of damage combos to make up for the Junior's lack of fighting. It has really good special output, really good mobility. But the main weapon itself still cannot fight super well. In neutral, you'll still have bombs and painting capability and stuff, but it's still going to be a bit difficult. And so if you want another, like, supportive special, like a bubble, you'll have to run something like a Zimmy that can also fight. You can't run a second weapon that can't fight very well as the main gun, which does have some limitations on your comp, even if it isn't that severe, and as more kits come out, that won't be a big a problem. And the other factor is there'll be some team comps that don't have things that are super weak to Wave Breaker. You'll fight non-Ninja Squid teams that don't have weapons like blasters or dualies that are forced to remain grounded due to how their weapons function. And because of that, Wave Breaker will be a bit weaker there. Against stuff like a lot of shooters, I think it'll be a bit more difficult for Custom Junior to find value. So I definitely think it's not a you can constantly pick this thing, but it is very good. It is a brand new niche. We don't have anything that super spams Wave Breaker very well, so that'll be interesting to see. It's a slightly different playstyle for Junior, not that different, but enough to make sense. And it's cool. 2 strong kits on Junior is awesome. This is really good for Junior mains in particular. And I am very, very excited to see what people do with this weapon kit. Let me know your thoughts. I'll see you guys later.